Now we're going to go into something old. We're going to talk about Knock at the Cabin,
It's not that old.
which is from February.
Yeah.
So we can spoil it. Spoiler review for Knock at the Cabin. You finally saw it this week?
I did. It finally was out of time.
What did you think?
Well, you know, Shyamalan movies and typical. I always enjoy them until the very end. I did enjoy Old. Now, Sixth Sense, perfect, absolutely perfect movie. Perfect,
His first
perfect,
one.
perfect. And therefore, if he wants to do a movie, everyone jumps, I guess. But a lot of them have been falling apart at the very end when, of course, he has to explain what has happened previous. But this one was a little bit of different.
How so?
From Shyamalan. It didn't fit that kind of
yeah.
It didn't really fit. It was the same kind of theme all throughout. It didn't have that weird twist at the end.
Yeah. The twist at the end of this movie, as we're in spoilers, is that the people, what they were saying was true.
Yeah,
there's no twist.
Really
That's the twist.
They're
not crazy.
No twist. Of course, we do see Shyamalan in the movie eating chicken or something.
He's in all. He does a cameo in all of his movies.
But this was a little different. It was. I got it right away that these people were the four horsemen of the apocalypse.
They said it.
No, before.
But they had the wrong names.
Way before that, it was just so weird and primitive, and there's four of them. Anyway, it was weird. The only thing about this, I didn't mind it. It was okay. It wasn't as good as many other movies. I think I liked it more than you did because I wanted to know what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
With it all, and it had there was a weird twist in it that one of the horsemen actually previously was aware of these guys, and that was an odd thing. Mm-hmm. They never really did explain that.
True.
Coincidence or whatever, and that kind of messed up the whole plan that they had. But anyway, I think it's a dangerous movie to put out there, especially just after the pandemic. I think it's something that will fuel religious fanatics, so I kind of don't like it for that reason. I don't think it was maybe needed at this time because there's a lot of people out there that are very disgruntled, and I don't know. I think it kind of helps the crazies out, if you ask me, because it was saying this was the end times.
Did you find that this was a lot of like kind of shoving down your throat Christian doctrine and theology? Did you find that?
I don't know if it was. I wouldn't say that, but I think it's a bit scary to have a movie like that now. I don't think the timing was so good because we're just coming out of the pandemic and society has been so divided over that. Mm-hmm. I think this is probably not good timing, and I kind of don't like to encourage people to think like tomorrow's the end and suicide cults and stuff like that.
There's always nutcases.
Yeah,
like
I know.
That.
Basically, I think it's a
That's
bit dangerous.
Nothing new.
I think it was a bit dangerous in the movie.
I found this movie boring throughout it.
I didn't find it boring.
It was boring throughout, and then the ending was boring. It's not a visual effects heavy movie.
Oh, no.
Very few. So here's the thing. This movie, according to Collider.com, was made on a budget of around $20 million. Okay?
The actors were the money went.
Yeah, and possibly some of the sets, right? And production values. There's a little bit of visual effects, especially near the end. That's probably where a lot of the money went. Because those are expensive. But get this, so $20 million to make this movie, that's cheap, okay? And it has made worldwide $54 million, and this is how Shyamalan makes money. He makes all these movies on the cheap. Sometimes he puts up his own money. And so you have these movies that are made for $20 million, and it's made $54 million. So that means it's already made money. Has it made a lot of money? No. But if you make $1 million on it, that's still $1 million, right?
I don't think it was that bad of a movie. I just think it's a bad topic.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just concerned about.
To me, this was a nothing movie. I give it a worst movie ever. What rating would you give this movie?
Probably a 76.
Okay, that's being generous.
I did enjoy the story. I wanted to know what was going to happen with the people, but I didn't like the premise. The premise was the problem. It just concerned me a lot. Anyway, still, like, if this was someone else did the movie, we would think it was interesting. I guess he has a lot to live up to. Some of his other movies were so good.
Well, we saw this because it's Shyamalan's name, right?
Oh.
So that's our thoughts on Knock at the Cabin, even though it's from mid-February. So this is over a month old now. What are your thoughts on Knock at the Cabin or Shyamalan's movies? Are you a fan of him, or have you tapped out on his movies? Because he started off strong with Sixth Sense, Unbreakable,
really
Signs, The Village. His movies seem to be diminishing returns.
Old was really good.
Old was all right.
Old was like, except for that end, if they would have just not had that end part. I really enjoyed Old.
Let's not get into that.
Yeah, but still, he can do a good job. I think it was maybe it wasn't his traditional type of movie.
No.
I don't know.
What are your thoughts on Knock at the Cabin by Shyamalan? Let us know down in the comments below. We'll read it out on a future episode.